Okay, we're going to look at example 3. A bullet of mass 80 grams is travelling horizontally, so it's 80 grams travelling horizontally with a velocity of 100 meters per second. So that's an initial velocity of 100 meters per second. Okay, so it stops when it has become embedded in a tree 50 centimeters from where it entered. So we know S is equal to 50 and its speed, which is its final speed, is 0. Okay, so that 80 grams is 0.08 kilograms. We'll start off there. And the question, first part, we're looking for the resistance. So resistance, okay, so resistance is actually a force. And we know that force is equal to mass times the acceleration. So we know that the force here is going to be the mass, which is 0.08 times the acceleration. Now, the acceleration is going to be a little bit more difficult. We haven't got the acceleration here. We do know the initial velocity, we do know the final velocity, we know the distance. So we can use the formula v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as and work it out that way. So our v, which is 0, so that's 0, is equal to 100 squared minus 2 times a, which we don't know, and the distance, remember this is in meters and it's 50 centimeters, so that's a half a meter. So I can say that 0 is equal to 10,000 minus, and 2 minus 2 multiplied by 0.5 is 1, so that's minus a. Or sorry, that should be a plus. So minus 10,000 is equal to a. That's my acceleration. So then the resistance, which is my force, is 0.08 times the acceleration, which is minus 10,000. And that is minus 800 newtons, because it's a force, so it has to be newtons, and it's going in the opposite direction to our motion, so it's a resistance, so it's negative, which is correct. Okay, now looking at part 2 of this question, and it said if the bullet had been of mass 100 kilograms, so this time the mass is equal to 0.1. Stop dancing around the place. Okay, how far into the tree would it have gone if all the other measurements remain the same? So that means that the resistance, which is our force, is equal to minus 800 newtons. Okay, and let me see, what else do I need to know? Nothing else for now. Well, what can this tell me? This can tell me I know that force is equal to mass times the acceleration. So that means minus 800 is equal to 0.1a. Divide both sides by 0.1. And minus 8,000 newtons, or sorry, not newtons, because it's acceleration, so it's meters per second squared, is my acceleration. Okay. And I need to know actually how far. I'm looking for a distance. So I know the distance. I want to know the distance. I know the initial velocity, which is 100 meters per second. I know the final velocity, 0, because it's stopped. And I know my acceleration, which is minus 8,000 meters per second. So looking at these, that would tell me that I need to use v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. So that 0 is equal to 100 squared plus 2 times minus 8,000 times s. So I got minus 10,000 over minus 16,000 is equal to s, and that's 0.625 meters is equal to S, so that's 62.5 centimeters.